President and CEO of Aircraft Propeller Services, a leading global aerospace company specializing in maintenance, repair, and overhaul services. Dan spent the first half of his career with GE, starting in the aerospace business on an engineering training program, and then moving to the corporate audit staff. After his successful tenure at GE, he moved to Sears and ran a large portion of their $3 billion home services business. As his last role at Sears, Dan led the corporate continuous improvement group. Dan then joined the Riverside Company, a middle-market private equity firm, spending 8 years there as an operating partner. Dan has had 2 sons graduate from Carmel. Next up, we have Mrs. Peggy Rastek. Peggy graduated from the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign with a degree in business administration with a Spanish minor. She began her career as a consultant for Arthur Anderson, where she focused on business processes, consulting, and large system implementations. After 5 years in consulting, she moved to Abbott industry. Peggy has been with Abbott for 23 years and has held a number of U.S. and global commercial roles of increasing responsibility. Business systems analyst, sales operations project manager, training and development manager, U.S. commercial compliance director, director of global strategic initiatives, marketing director, and more. She's traveled extensively to work at AbbVie affiliates across the globe. Her current role is asset strategy lead in neuroscience, focused on Alzheimer's disease, strokes, and spinal cord injury. Peggy has 5 kids, three of them current and former Carmel students. Next up, we have Mr. Jeffrey Fox. Jeffrey Fox is a business development manager for Bish Creative Display. Jeffrey started as a project manager, and after 9 years with the company, he has gained experience in various business fields. He has an undergraduate degree in business administration, marketing, and entrepreneurial management from Creighton University. Jeffrey's leadership in client communications continued to lead Bish to his current position as a global leader in creative in-store merchandising. Next up, Mr. William Salvi. William Salvi is the founder and co-CEO of Salvi Media, a creative video agency that produces digital media content and strategy for brands across the country. Will previously worked for U.S. Senator Joe Donnelly on Capitol Hill as a congressional staffer and worked as an accountant manager for Ray's Holdings. Will is a graduate from the University of Notre Dame, where he was also a member of the football team as a walk-on, a board member of Vernal Youth and Family Treatment Center, and a member of Angel Investors. Lastly, we have Mrs. Lisa Barron. Lisa began her career with VCU in 1994. A leader in organizational development, Lisa is responsible for the strategic direction of the human resource and talent management functions, as well as high enterprise leadership as a member of an experienced team. She is also tasked with driving high employee engagement, cultivating VCU's unique culture and employee brand, developing staff, and increasing employee retention. Lisa serves as a senior leader for the Inclusion Network and is a member of VCU's charitable giving committee. Her passion is helping others grow and develop to reach their full potential. She is also a graduate of Carmel Catholic High School. I would now like to wish all of the groups the best of luck. Lastly, before we begin, I would like to ask that you all stay until the end of the program for when a winner is announced. I would now like to welcome Stride to the stage.
Yeah, that's my bad. I left this all stuff for you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Actually, go hold it back. of Stride, and we'd like to show you our business. My name is Mario Bernardi. I'm a junior, and I'm the CEO of Stride.
My name is Gavin Stanley. I'm a junior, and I'm the CFO of Stride.
My name is Aaron Smozinski. I'm a junior, and I'm the CMO of Stride.
So there's a player on the Carmel Catholic soccer team. It was wet. They were competing for a playoff spot, and his socks got wet. And when his socks got wet, there was more friction in his shoe, and he started getting blisters. And he wasn't able to compete in the playoff game next week because he had too many blisters on his feet. But it's not just blisters. You can also sprain your ankle and many other injuries when the playing field is wet.
And obviously, we wanted to make a solution, something that will keep you dry, comfortable, and confident when you're playing your competition or when you're playing against the elements. So we decided to do this by making our Stride Tech. This is a visual representation showing the red being the outside of the sock and the black being the inside. First, the red is used for longevity. We know that people or athletes, many times, they're training, whether it's practice, whether it's a personal training session, or even when it's games. So they need it to last a whole season. Secondly, we have the middle layer. This is where the real technology comes in. This is to keep the wet and the weather out. Next, we have the black, which is the inside, which is what's touching the athlete's foot. This is for comfortability. We want our athletes to feel comfortable and be ready to go when they're using our sock. These are the specific materials that we use to get this done. First, I'm starting with the outside, which is a nylon polyester blend. This is very proven in the athletic world. Many people use it for athletic wear, like clothes, and even in socks too. And second is where the real technology comes in, the polyurethane laminate. This almost acts like a trap door for the sock. It allows the water to only come in one way and only go out the same way because of the way it's laminated. And this, in turn, makes it breathable and also water and weather resistant. And lastly, we chose cotton as the part that's touching your foot because this is obviously comfortable. I can assume that most of you guys right now are wearing cotton socks. And it's also relatively inexpensive to produce, and we thought that's why we thought it would be great. Now, as my associate here, Mario, is doing the demonstration, I'm going to explain our prototype. So we started with this black sock here that we got from an independent manufacturer. We got some really positive results, and it actually worked pretty well. But there were three main issues. Number one was some quality control. There were some stitches that weren't stitched right, and it made the sock a little flimsy and weak. And that in turn brought us to our second problem, which is actually the overall performance of the sock. When the sock isn't stitched right, it doesn't actually work right. And that can cause the sock to leak through after about 30 or 40 minutes. And that was a huge problem for us. I'll let you guys take a look at that. Now, as you guys are looking at that, our last problem was actually something we were very surprised about, which was the color. Many of the people that we tested the sock on said that they would never wear a black sock and that it wasn't stylish. So that was something that we needed to fix. We had changed the color to white for our second prototype, which we actually just received in the mail today, so we weren't able to test it yet. And we also used a thinner thread so that it would stitch better and give us the technology that we wanted.
So who are we targeting? We are focusing on youth athletes in our 5 main target sports, which is hockey, soccer, lacrosse, football, and baseball, because all 5 of those sports play outside and in wet conditions. Our customers are most likely going to be someone who is looking to buy a product that can help them improve their game and give them a stride over their opponents. They're most likely also going to be someone who is on social media, and that is a channel that we can use to reach them. Our UVP is that Stride offers athletes with a tool to level up their game by creating a sock that offers safe, dry, and dependable use. Our total addressable market is those 5 sports that I mentioned earlier. There are 274.3 million people in the world who play those sports, and our serviceable addressable market is 10.2 million people that play those sports who are youths and in the United States. Now this graph shows the market of sock sales in the United States. As you can see, last year it was a $7.8 billion industry, so there's a lot of money to be made in the industry, and we're looking to join that.
So
So our competitors, REI, Sealskin, and Goreware. In some reviews that we found is REI is not breathable and your feet are gonna sweat, and Sealskin is not water resistant at all, and Goreware is just super uncomfortable.
All right, and these are our updates since our last pitch. So the panel knows that we started by just using layers of the materials that we wanted and used it to just test it like we did with our socks. Eventually, we used Lithium Socks, which is an independent sock manufacturer located in China. Although the prototype was great, we did have a couple problems like I mentioned earlier, so we wanted to switch directions. We are now switching over and are in contact with Capelli Sport. They recently just passed Puma in youth sports sales for soccer. We wanted to switch to them because they have their own manufacturers, and we thought that they could make a more precise and valuable product for us without the obvious flaws in our last prototypes.
We have 3 main points to our sales plan. First is offering custom branded socks to athletic teams, giving them the functionality of Stride, but also being able to represent their team on their socks. Secondly, we want to go into wholesale because instead of having to sell 1 pair of socks at a time, we can sell in large quantities. We want to start off in smaller pro shops and local shops, and in the future end up in larger retailers. And thirdly, we want to sell directly to consumer, whether that be on our website or on websites like Amazon. You're probably wondering how we're going to reach these people, and that is through first of all, the teams and athletes that we're going to be wearing our sock on the field, and thirdly, through social media growth. We want to create content that will draw people in and turn them into customers.
So our finances, our competitors, REI is $44, Sealskin is $40, and Goreware is $25. What it costs for us to get a sock from Lithium is $7 for the sock, $1 for shipping, and $2 for packaging. And Lithium's minimum order quantity is 100 pairs, so that would come out to around $700. And we are looking to sell our socks at $35.
And lastly, moving forward. Right now, we're obviously in the testing phase, and we need to get out of that sometime. Our testing's been slowed down because most of our target sports play in the fall, so we have to wait a while before we can fully test the product and make sure that it can reach its full capabilities. But after that, we'd like to start right here at Carmel Catholic with our own sports teams. We want to sell to our own teams and give them the edge on the other teams so that they can play better and feel comfortable. And after that, we'd also like to expand to the other sports teams in the area, other high schools and other grade schools, so that we can level out the playing field too. And lastly, I'd like to thank you guys for your time.
Do we have any questions?
What was the process to find suppliers? How'd
So-
you come up with it? What'd you do?
So what we did is we looked on Amazon actually and looked at the top waterproof socks, and you can see on Amazon who manufactures them. So we made a list of all of them and wrote and contacted all of them, and one of them ended up getting back to us, and that is who made these.
All 3 of them?
They're all made by the same company.
Nice.
The prices of 44, 40, and 25, is that for 1 pair of sock?
For a pair, yes.
Do you know what Nike, Adidas, or Under Armour, the major players, do you know what they're charging for?
So, like Nike and Adidas don't really make like a specialized sock. I mean, they have dry fit, which is really just for breathability and the warmth. It's not like a water or weather resistant sock, but those, it just depends, like a 4-pack maybe anywhere from 25 to 30. Just depends.
Have you all worn this for, say, a 2 to 3 hour period? What did you think?
I noticed I wore it during a hockey game, and you can really tell the difference, especially after like a game. I'll notice my socks are wet, and this they weren't. I was surprised, but they worked really well.
I use them, so sometimes I play pickup soccer with my friends, and I used it on a rainy day actually. And something I saw you notice during our presentation was that you said it was really thick, and we had the same issue with that, right? But surprisingly, we didn't actually feel it that much. It feels pretty natural when it's on your foot. So we didn't.
Can I have a pair?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take a pair.
We got 3.
as well. Have you thought about targeting sports that, like, you say, skiing or snowboarding, or I think ice hockey would be good? I know sweat is common, but it'd be hard to compete against Adidas and Nike. I think those are probably your main competitor. I have never heard of the three companies that you mentioned. So I think it might be tough. Have you thought about pivoting to those types of sports where liquid would start to be brought into your shoe or footwear?
Yeah, I think right now we are going for a less like market so we can get out there, and then once we get bigger, we'll go out to like skiing and snowboarding and other sports like that.
Yeah, just to add on, we all play hockey, so we just want to stay in a market that we know and that like we know we can impact directly first. So
How does the cotton work with the moisture wicking, to go off of Will's point with like the sweat and stuff like that? So cotton usually absorbs sweat, doesn't?
right, so we use brush cotton to minimize that. So we really wanted to put cotton on the outside, but cotton freezes and polyester doesn't. So basically, the cotton should be thin enough where like it should be pretty breathable. Obviously, it's not going to be perfect, but if you're using a thicker cotton, it might be worse. So we tried to use the best cotton we could.
And what was it, you mentioned the durability, do you have any specific sense of how long they last, or just kind of a guess?
Like we said, our target sports that we want to test on, they're not in season right now. So right now we don't have an exact timeline, but based on the materials and like research we've done and just how normal companies stand up, it should be around 3 months, maybe more.
And did you mentioned those competitors, did you try theirs on and wear those to kind of get your own
We
feel
did.
for how they compare?
Yeah, we did try those on, and it was surprising. Compared to ours, we thought that ours felt better on our feet. The materials were more comfortable, and I think ours did a little bit of a better job keeping the water out.
Yeah, believe it or not, they actually felt a little more traditional. Some of those companies do feel a little heavy and plastic baggy, like you said, so.
Have you had other athletes tested for a 2 to 3 hour period, say for a practice or a game?
We haven't yet. That's what we're trying to get as many prototypes as we can right now, and then when they're in season, we'll give them out to them for them to test.
What'd you guys do to get a prototype? Tell me about the process in getting these socks to here.
Well, if you remember in the MVP pitch in February, we had that little stack of materials, which worked. So we knew what our materials were, but like I said, we reached out to a bunch of manufacturers that were supplying on Amazon waterproof socks, and when one got back to us, we told them what we wanted, and they said they could make it for us, and a couple weeks later, we got these ones first.
Did they charge you for those?
They did. Yeah. It was a sample, so a little bit more expensive than a normal bulk order would be.
You mentioned a fairly large target market, and when you kind of step back from that, you're saying you're going to start with Carmel Catholic and then kind of expand from there. So what's your thought process on how long that could take to kind of ramp up to where you eventually want to get to?
Well, we want to get a manufacturer secured, because obviously the one in China isn't who we want to stick with long term because of the quality issues and all the other issues that come with it. So once we really get a foundation with a manufacturer, we're going to really start getting to teams and getting the brand out there and people wearing it.
It's just a long way from Carmel Catholic to Amazon, so I didn't know how long, if you kind of mapped out or stepped out what that could look like for you, or the steps to get there.
Right.
Yeah, we haven't done that specifically. I think our main focus is just getting it here, using Carmel to test it out, and if we get positive results, then I think that's when we choose to expand.
So just building on Will's question from earlier, can you talk to us a little bit about the data you're using to make your choices, the data you're using to pivot your choices? You went from black to white, but it sounds like you're talking a lot about you all have tested it, right? But talk to us about your broader research process, your data collection process, and how you're using that data to pivot.
All right, so I've showed the pictures of the sock, just the pictures to around probably 70 people. I can't give you an exact number, but I have showed it to multiple of my classmates and friends that go to other schools, and I can tell you about 95% of those people have told me that they would never wear a black sock, which was surprising to us too, because we thought that our colors would be cool on the sock, but we just got a really adverse reaction to it. So that's what we've looked at, but, you know, we'll take that into consideration. We should look at the actual statistics for that. Thank you.
It'll help prove your points later on, what data you have.
And is the thought that you would buy these and wear these as you would normal socks, or is it just for playing or practicing in wet conditions?
Well, we were going for more like comfortability. Like our competitors are just for those occasions where it's raining or it's wet. We were going for more like everyday use. Or some people might use them just for those occasions for the durability, so they don't wear out.
Yeah.
But
you're targeting everyday use.
yeah,
right? So
we're
that's
targeting
different,
everyday
right?
use.
Just to build off, like we're using it for more casual athletes. A lot of the brands up there were used for extreme, like hiking or like exploration, stuff like that, and ours are just for an everyday athlete, something that's not as extreme.
So does that fit with when you look at the price point and how you decided on the pricing and where to fit versus maybe an everyday sock from the big, like Adidas or those three specialty ones that you mentioned? How did you analyze that and decide on the price point?
We kind of based it off of our competitors, like REI and Sealskins. They're both like $40 and $44. And we didn't want to be too expensive, because if it's too expensive, no one's gonna want to buy it. But we wanted to be a little cheaper, but not too cheap, because if it's too cheap, people will think it's not good quality and they won't want to buy it. So we wanted to be around the range, just not as expensive as the other socks.
To add on to that, obviously we have more materials than just a normal Nike sock. It's our technology is 3 different materials all layered, so it's going to be more than that. But we also want more affordability, and for the casual sock athlete, something in the middle, and that's about where we got our price.
What was the hardest thing that you all encountered during this process?
Getting it out there for testing, for sure, I think. At least for all of us. Giving it to athletes, I think a lot of people, will brush us off just because it's like not a real product yet. And but I think we did find, just to make some good out of it, we did find a lot of athletes that did say they would need it, but a lot of athletes don't want to test it. It's just like they just kind of brush us off. I felt like we were being ignored.
How do you compete against the Nike or Adidas? It's a tough company to go against from a marketing standpoint. You mentioned social media marketing. What are you guys going to do to stand out?
I think it's just the fact that we're different. I think our sock values and offers something that a normal Nike sock wouldn't. I think that can make us stand out against them. And that's really our big thing. And that's why, like how Gavin said earlier, he was talking about it's more for the everyday. It's not extreme, but it's also not a base level product. It's just right in the middle there for an athlete that needs it.
I thought your presentation was good. Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice branding, too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So what would be the next step to make it more real, since you guys are juniors? So you have another year, right?
Yeah, like we said, we want to get a manufacturer locked and that we can actually start making them at a consistent level and just have all of our specifications figured out, obviously the color and the thickness and all the stuff that we want to make sure that we have right before we start making it a mass-produced
Put
thing.
that kind of cost together to fit, like you said, it was $7 with $100 or 100 pair minimum, so you're looking at $700 plus the freight and all that stuff. So it was $9 all in, I think, right?
About
so
that.
$900 plus prototypes, so for maybe $2,000, you're away you go.
Yeah.
Roughly.
About that. Right.
So once you get your prototypes and you continue to advance, obviously you need to get out there and get people excited. Can you, you're giving a very formal business presentation to us, which we appreciate. What is that message like to your friends, to athletes? Like, how do you get those people engaged so that they're gonna test it out for you, that they're gonna wear it for you, that they're gonna rep it eventually? How would you talk to them in 2 sentences or less? Like, how do you get them engaged?
Well, we talked to some people on the soccer team here, and we asked them if they would like a sock that's like comfortable and will keep their feet dry And we had a couple people saying, yeah, I would love to wear those. Those would be nice. So we have a couple people, once we get the sock we like, we can give it to them and they can test it for us.
To add on to that, another marketing angle would be to offer it to athletes around our age and who have will be able to test it out and get a testimonial from them, and they can show their friends that they like it, and it would just grow from there.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time.
All right, so as we wait for Stride to clear out,
Thank you very much.
beyond, yep, there we go. I want to bring up LeVere. You guys can come get set up. Peace. All right, so as LeVere gets set up, I want to thank all the parents and families for being here tonight. These groups have put in a tremendous amount of effort since August, and it's great to see you all here supporting them. So thank you all for being here to watch your kids present. All right. We are now ready for LeVere Drinkware.
Okay. Hello, everyone, and thank you for being here. We are LeVere Drinkware, and these are a few of the topics we will be talking about tonight. So, how many of you are excited for summer to finally be here? With that being said, how many of you either annually host or attend a 4th of July party? With my experience, I know they are filled with lots of family, friends, and fun. So picture this. You're at your annual 4th of July party. The kids are running around in the grass, and the adults are chatting it up and having their drinks on the patio. It's very, very hot outside, causing the ice in your drink to melt, which in turn causes condensation to create on the outside of your glass. Hello, I am Angela Beagle, and I'm the CEO.
Hi, my name is Allie Williams, and I'm the CMO.
Hello, I'm Jonah Rosales, and I'm the COO.
So what's our problem? Like I said, when hot air mixes with the cool air of your drink, it creates condensation, which causes a sweaty cup that you're holding. Some of you may recognize this picture. This past weekend, Carmel Catholic had its prom. We thought this was a perfect opportunity to showcase how real this problem really is. It's very common, and as you can see in the photo, it's covered in condensation just because it's a hot room and cold water. So how do we solve this? By creating a cup that has a double-walled feature so the condensation cannot pass through. How many people would actually buy this? Well, our new target audience is a female between her 30s and 40s. She has a few little kids, and she lives kind of that trendy lifestyle. So how many of these women actually exist within the US? Well, in the US alone, there's 169 million, so to say. In Illinois, around 6.4, and Lake County alone, 354,000. When doing our data and research, the first question we asked is, how relevant is this problem? Well, everyone said they needed drinkware. No surprise there. The next question we asked is, how often are you replacing it? Well, the results varied based on how big your family is, if you have kids who are a little bit younger who tend to drop the glasses, or depending on where you live. So with our results, we came back to having the result of every 2 to 3 years, people are most likely replacing their drinkware. The last question we asked is, where are you purchasing it? Surveys showed that it's supermarkets and independent stores.
So as Addie mentioned, 2 of the most common brands that you will find in those supermarkets are Bavario and Tervis. Right here, I actually have a Tervis cup, which I will pass around so you guys can take a better look at it. Immediately you can see how thick and chunky this cup is. It's a double-walled cup made out of plastic, and you can feel how inexpensive it is. Right here, I have a Bavario cup, which, as you can see, it's much more elegant. It's a single-walled cup also made out of plastic, which I will also pass around. And then right here, I have your typical household glass, which you will immediately feel the difference between this cup and then the other 2 I just passed around. So with our product, we're looking to combine all these 3 cups into one by taking the double wall feature with the elegant look as well as that glass feel. As I mentioned, we really want that elegant glass feel to it, so what we're looking to do is add a glass disc at the bottom of our cup, which will add extra weight to the bottom. We also wanted to include our own personalization, so we will be engraving our logo into the bottom so that when you look at the bottom of the cup, you'll be able to see our logo. So since our last pitch in February, we've had to make a few adjustments. As we last mentioned, we wanted to use Triton, which is a very durable plastic. We found that Triton didn't require the double wall, that we would be able to make a cup with only a single wall. We began to reach out to different manufacturers, but we weren't able to find someone who would create the cup that we were looking for. From there, we decided to switch to glass. One of the main factors that we liked about Triton was how durable it was, and obviously glass is a lot more fragile. So we decided that we're gonna include a 2-year warranty, which states that we will replace any glasses broken within the first 2 years of owning it since the original purchase date. So as we continue to work with a manufacturer, we want to create our prototype to how we like it, and then from there, we're looking to create some online ads and post them to different social medias, such as Facebook and Instagram, because we feel that our target market uses those platforms the most. From there, we're hoping to gain endorsements and have people talk about our product and share it with family and friends, and even share it to their own social medias. And with all that, we're hoping to grow our sales in our company as well.
So going into some basic startup costs, first we have our prototype and our first bulk order of our actual product. Right now we're still in communication with our new manufacturer Glass now because we have to pivot from our Triton into Glass. And once we actually send in our final measurements for our designs, they'll be able to give us a price back and our prototype through which we can test and do different experiments with that until we get a prototype that satisfies our needs. And once we give them the okay, they'll be able to give us a quote on our first bulk order. So next going into packaging, the software that we're using only allows you to buy in bulk. So the smallest amount that you can buy at a time is 30 boxes. And we're looking to go with 30 boxes just because in case we get those boxes back, there's something we want to change about it, there's something we want to tweak. We didn't spend all that money and waste it for nothing. And they also charge you based on your design. So in the bottom right corner, we have our box that will be shipped directly to customers' houses. And it's a sleek and simple but elegant white box that has our socials in the bottom left corner as well as our logo in the top right. Once you open the box, you'll see our warranty as well as a business card to let our customers know a little bit more about us, and then our glasses. And they are charging $9 per box, so for 30 boxes that gives us $270. And for our company, we're going for an LLC primarily for the reason that we can protect ourselves in case someone has a medical issue, in case they use a broken glass, something like that, and they can't blame us individually, but they would have to go after our actual company, and that comes to $150. And last, our marketing. So we're planning to market mostly on Instagram and Facebook. Those are 2 meta companies, so one option for advertising on those platforms is you can give them a set amount of money, and then they will charge you based on impressions of the advertisement. So we're splitting that $1,000 to $500 to Facebook and $500 to Instagram, which gives us $1,000. which is a total of $1,420, excluding our actual prototype and product. So next, going into some sales, general, and administrative costs, we have two main ones for our first year. We have our marketing, which is the $1,000 I mentioned earlier, and this could fluctuate over the course of a year just because it's such a long time, and they might charge based on the kind of advertisements that you want to use on their platforms, as well as the impressions like I mentioned. And second, we are starting with a website just because it's easily accessible to customers as well as us, and we are going with Shopify, which we will have our online storefront with. And they're very user-friendly and have really good customer service, and they're easily accessible if we have a problem or something that we need to work out. And for our starting plan, we will be on $29 a month, and the first month is $1, so that comes to a total of $320 for a year, which brings us to $1,320 for our first year costs. And upcoming plans, our main focus right now is to really crack down on our manufacturing and get in contact and stay in contact with our Glass Now manufacturer and get our prototypes so we can do all that testing in order to get a final product that we'd like to actually start ordering in bulk. Second, we'd like to start cracking down on our actual socials. So we do have an email that's up and running, but we'd like to start and launch a Facebook account as well as an Instagram account, since that's where we will be advertising the most. And last, we also want to start looking into ways that we can generate funds so that we have the means and the money to actually accomplish these goals as fast as possible. Thank you for listening. Any questions?
I've actually been thinking about this product since February, when you first talked about it. I'm not in your age range for the demographic, but yet it's okay. So one of the things I found interesting, I don't know that pivoting to glass is a problem. I'd like to hear more about that and how you felt about that, since that's not where you initially wanted to go. And then I have a follow-up question on the warranty.
Yeah. So, as we said, Triton was our original material, but where we came across some problems was with the manufacturing, and it was really only produced by one company, and they weren't really getting back to us, and I sent multiple emails, but they just refused to contact back, which was unfortunate. But I do think it made us pivot for the better, because we were looking at glass originally, then we tried to look at something more better for the environment, which would be plastic that lasted a little bit longer. But looking at our glass company, Glass Now actually does produce some reused glass materials. So if we do want to look at that, it would be more eco-friendly, which we do think would be pretty profitable for us.
Why did the team feel the need to offer a warranty? It's interesting. I don't know that I've heard of that before.
Yeah, so like we said, with someone having a little bit of younger kids running around, we know it's very common for kids to accidentally drop things. It's also very common for glasses to just sometimes shatter if they're going through the dishwasher or something like that. So if that were to ever happen, obviously we don't want anyone to be injured or anything like that. So that's why we want to offer kind of a warranty before they even buy it, so that they know if something like that were to happen, we could easily replace it for them.
Are you going to take that into consideration for your price point, that you're offering a warranty and that's going to cost something?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't really talked much about that, but I'm sure once we have the prototype and test it really ourselves for the durability, then we would be able to give you a better answer for that.
Where's Glass Now based?
They're not too far. They are in the U.S., so we do think that would be pretty good for getting the shipping a little bit faster. So I can't tell you the exact state they're in. It's kind of drawn in. Where is it?
Pennsylvania.
Oh, Pennsylvania. Yeah. So yeah, they are within the U.S., which we did like that aspect.
Are they making it in the U.S. or are they importing
Yes,
it?
it is in the U.S.
How big is this problem? Did you conduct any research to showcase that people are like, I cannot handle the condensation coming out of my glass? What research do you have to show that this is a need?
Yeah.
We sent out Google Forms and surveys to friends, families, and teachers and things like that, and we got our results back, and a lot of it was just a common annoyance that you don't want be at someone's house or having people over at your house and they're like, oh, can you get a coaster? Or it's just not a comfortable feeling to have that in your hand. And we're also targeting people that have the means to actually buy something like that solves a common annoyance, because it's not for people who are like aren't willing to spend that much on an actual glass.
And I'll add on to the teens in here who have to clean at home. We hate cleaning the water rings off of the glasses tables, so if that's another bonus to be prevented.
To go off of that, we also don't like listening to our parents having to annoy us about getting a coaster or like putting something under our cup so we don't have to mess up their tables and everything.
I have a wooden table on the side where I watch TV and there's a ring on it, so I understand.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if anyone else has the problem. How do you differentiate from, I mean, there's a lot of glassware and drinkware. There's quite a bit. And there's now new products like the thermal or so how do you compete against them? You know, what do you do because right now it's kind of like, here's a glass that doesn't have condensation on the side. Like, how do you stand out from them?
I definitely think we have the more personable aspect of it. Definitely combining all three of those into the perfect glass that we think everyone would use. But compared to the new water bottles and everything that everyone is using these current days, like what we bring to high school every day, we wanted something that you could also use at your dining room table instead of something that would constantly sweat, ruin whatever touching it. And you also don't want to bring your Stanley to the dinner room table if it's Christmas or Thanksgiving, something like that. It's more on a personal level that the families could kind of connect with in comparison to like, you know, big chunky water bottles or anything like that.
Are you all doing any of the engineering for the cup, or are you relying on the Glass Now people to handle it?
So originally when we had our Triton, we did design a model, but since then we've had to change it to the double wall structure instead of the single wall. So I think we're gonna work with some engineering students to have them help us since the double wall is a little more complicated than just the single wall model. But we're looking to do that pretty soon.
We have 3D printers here at our school, and I'm in contact with some of our engineering students right now, plus an engineering teacher. So they're all very willing to help us out.
You know, when you talked about the market size, and did you limit yourself too much? You know, we talked about it seems to be more of a universal problem, and you kind of zeroed in, as you described it, on a pretty specific niche. And then second, I don't know that your numbers match that when you showed the market size. It was more, I think you took the whole female population, not kind of your, you talked about a more specific subsegment. Can you talk more about that?
Yeah, so when I talked about our target audience, which was that main female between her 30s and 40s, I knew that it would still be a little bit too small of a range, like you said. So when taking the market, it was women within the US. And obviously, we have some interest outside of that age range, which is fantastic. So honestly, we thought that if we went full women within the US, it would give us a larger market, but we think our target audience would be most likely to buy it.
You're all juniors?
Yes.
Do you want to keep doing this?
Yes.
You're going to do it next year?
Yes.
We are.
This exact thing?
Yes.
Okay, just wondering.
So if someone were to invest in you today and give you, let's say, $5,000, what would be the first 3 things you would do?
Prototype, I think, is definitely the first thing, because I think,
Getting like the quote back on that stuff, you know, how much it's actually going to be to like actually sell our cups, and then also through that we can kind of adjust our financials based on that too, so that we can move forward without having to backtrack if something's not right and the numbers aren't adding up.
Okay, so that's number one, you do your prototype, but how would you assure me as an investor that, okay, so now you have your prototype, but that's kind of a sunk cost, but I want to know that you have longevity in the business. What are you doing for me so that I know that my investment is worthwhile?
So right now, I've been in contact with Glass Now, and they're kind of just waiting on us to get our molds to them. And kind of how Glass Now works is they made a deal that they would produce our prototype, and if we liked it, they have 50,000 units ready to ship to us, and that's their it's their lowest number. So if we were really, really happy and we were ready and set, we would get all of those cups shipped immediately to us.
And are you, so again, that's prototyping, but then you have to obviously test it because we want to make sure that it works. So can you talk about, once you get the prototype, what is your plan for continuing to test, collect data, to evolve? I mean, all of that takes time and money, so just curious what that looks like.
So I know for a few of us that we have some connections that are looking to actually use this as kind of an experiment. So using our prototype, they use it like every other glassware and see if it's better, worse, give us all their opinions on it, if they liked it better, how long it lasted, if it broke, anything like that. So we all have a few people in mind that are ready and willing when we get our prototypes back.
Yeah, adding on to that, when we send out our surveys to like friends, families, and teachers and things like that, they were more than willing to help us because they know us personally. So if we were to give them a few of our prototypes, I'm sure they'd be willing to test it out the same way they would fill out a survey for us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Here, let me take one.
All right, thank you, LaVere. So as we transition into the next group, which will be our year 2 company, Bark Armor, I want to take the time to thank the panel for being here. Mr. Jeff Box, Mrs. Peggy Rastovac, Ms. Lisa Barron, and Mr. Will Salvi. Thank you for offering up your time to the Incubator program and being with us here today. You play an important role in this program, and this would not be possible without you. So thank you for your time and efforts, and we appreciate it.
Get that. So first, what is Bark Armor? Panelists, we know you've seen this at the MVP, but parents, last time you saw us, we were Prime Dog Beds. Mr. Salvi, what's one issue with our name, specifically the word Prime? Amazon Prime. Exactly. When you hear the word Prime, you think of these two companies, Prime Video or Amazon Prime or Prime the energy drink. We wanted to change it to something that symbolizes the durability of our dog bed. When you think of Gorilla Glue, you think of a strong glue. It's going to last, it's durable, which is why we made the move to Bark Armor, the durability your dog deserves.
What is the product? So our bed has 3 components, the foam, Oxford, and microsuede. So with the foam, there's 2 layers, a hard foam and a memory foam. The memory foam is for the comfort of the dog, and the hard foam is for older dogs' bones and joints. Then for the Oxford, that material is super easy to clean. You can wipe it off, hose it off, whatever you need to do. That's used on hospital beds, college dorm beds, EMT cots. So that's super easy to clean, and it also makes our bed waterproof. And then the microsuede, that's the cover on the bed. It's super hard for the dog to rip through. It's washable. You can machine dry it as well. So that makes sure that the dog can't get through the bed. And then the 3 main components are that it is durable, sustainable, and comfortable. Durable, the dog cannot get through it. We want it to last the dog's lifetime. Sustainable, we want it to be easy to clean also so that it lasts the dog's lifetime. And then obviously we all want our dogs to be comfortable. I'm Scarlett Lindgren, co-CEO and CFO, and I'll be attending Union University next year. What we've done recently, so we have finalized our website. You can access it at www.barkarmor.com. On here you can pre-order beds, and we also have our procedures and policies on there, which are also in the booklets that we gave you. And how we've been marketing.
We've been using Instagram and TikTok for marketing. Instagram, you can post videos and link your website to it, so we will do that once we have beds to sell. And you can pay for views. And then TikTok, it's based on the algorithm, so we've just been posting videos for free and hoping that we reach people.
Next, we have a little bit of an example of what one of our videos would look like. So as Scarlett mentioned earlier, we're only accepting pre-orders on our website. And this is because we're no longer in contact with Moonlight. That relationship does not exist anymore, but we are searching for a new one because we do want to continue this next year. So how we're doing that is cold calls, emails, and letters. We just want to get our name out and reach out to as many people as possible because now that the website's up and running and we're paying for that, we really want to start to get a product that we can sell to people. What we're looking for, ideally, we want it to be made in the US. That would be huge for us because our mentor, Ms. Caval, is a State Farm agent and she would have connections with in-US insurance. And then if you see highlighted in the yellow is the product in both the square and the circle that we think will sell the most. And so ideally, we would want to make that product at $50 and $60 and sell at $130 and $140.
Manufacturing deal, so that way we can start selling beds and fully launch. We also want to do another professional photo shoot so that we have more pictures for ads in the website. And then we also want to continue to grow our social media following.
Before we go, I want to give a huge thank you to Ms. Lindgren and our mentor, Ms. Caval. We would not have been able to grow from what we were last year at Prime Dog Beds to where we are today. Thank you for being here. Contact us at our email, my personal phone number, and then our social media links are right there. Any questions?
What do dog beds price out at normally?
For our direct competitors or just like a rent?
Your competitors.
So that our average would be around $269.99 when we did the math.
Wow.
So we want to still make it 100% durable and have a large profit margin, but we want to give it a little bit of a less price compared to our competitors so it's more affordable.
What happened to your manufacturer?
We got ghosted.
Got ghosted?
Best way to put it.
Well, that happens. What would you do if you got $10,000?
Well, can't really do anything until we have a manufacturer, so.
That probably wouldn't make them ghost you, though.
True.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing is getting it in pen and paper as soon as we find a potential manufacturer because all the commitments were verbal with Moonlight, so.
Have you found, like, in your searches with your cold calls, how many U.S. manufacturers out there that exist?
We actually haven't gotten anybody to reach back. I've sent close to 10 emails, and I've called a bunch of numbers. We haven't had any success with that yet. We are prioritizing looking in the U.S. right now, but we are open to going down the route of overseas.
And the differentiator for your bed, is it the durability? Is it the comfort? Is it? I remember last year we talked a lot about the durability and proving that out. I mean, how are you positioning it?
It's 100. We want to sell it as a super durable dog bed. It's also comfortable, but the selling point is the durability.
But what does that mean?
Your dog will not be able to get through this. Like the harder they try, the harder it becomes to get through.
And is that part of the warranty? That the
Yes,
one-year
that-
warranty is the, it seemed like it was more kind of workmanship and quality, but not, hey, my dog found a way to chew it up.
We would have like a 1-year warranty where if the dog gets through it in the first year, we would take the bed back and give them a new one if they wanted or refund.
And is that what other people are offering you, like the competitors?
Our biggest competitor, K9 Ballistics, does do that, except I believe it's 6 months.
6 months.
Have you tried to test it out with dogs?
Yeah,
To see
so
if
I
your
have,
dogs-
those were my dogs in the video, and so the black dog, Birdie, she's a pretty big dog, and she can get kind of crazy, and the first way we tested the fabric was we put it in her cage with a plastic sheet, we wrapped it around the bottom of her cage, and she slept on it for about 2 weeks, and there was nothing. Like it looked like there were stains, but they came right out in the wash. It was still water, this cover was still water resistant after we washed it, so.
I have the perfect dog to test it out on.
Perfect.
Have you tried going after like Petco or talking to them about a potential partnership? Because that seems to be where I see those dog, and not obviously Amazon and online, but have you tried going to like chains where they sell animal products like this?
Yeah, we've thought about it. Obviously, until we have like a more permanent manufacturer, it's kind of hard to say like, can we sell here? But that would make us different because a lot of our competitors only sell it from their website. So if we have our website and can sell in big stores, or even if it's just like feed stores, I think that would make us a lot more out there.
Love the video.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Court Shield, you're up.
Yeah, it's not charging. My mic?
You're gonna, I only hit 3 belts, so give one of those guys that mic when you're finished announcing.
Got it. Yeah. Yeah. What? Yeah, I'll give you this one. Just give me 1 second.
You got the clicker? Where's the clicker?
Hold up. Oh, never mind, you're good to go. I apologize.
Thank you so much. Hi, we're Court Shield. So, first, how did we came up with this idea? So, for me, I'm a high school student, which means I have to use my phone a lot. I use my phone to communicate, to entertain, to socialize myself after hours of studying. So, due to that, I would have to charge my phone a lot. For me personally, I charge my phone twice a day, before I went to sleep, and then after I came back from school. So, as you can see, this is a really nice bedroom, just like mine. And that night, it was really cozy. You know, low lights, and I'm watching TikTok on my bed. It was a really cold night outside, and I'm really like ready to sleep already. Then I decided to, okay, I'm going to sleep now. So then I put my hands down, and I searched for my cords next to my bed, and then when I start searching, and then boom, I got zapped. Yes, I got zapped by my own cord. And then, I mean, the experience was awful, but I'm still fine. It was not fun, but yeah. And so then I check my cord, and I see this. my cord got frayed so bad, like the wires start coming out, and I got zapped instantly right at the moment when I grabbed it. Oh, I was traumatized. But anyways, so then I started sharing this to my friend, and we came up with cord shield. Guard your cord, shield your device. So what this cord shield means, so for our company, we're making cord sleeves, which is adding an additional layers onto our phone cord, which gonna help it last longer, more durability, avoid frayed, and help protecting user from getting zapped, just like me. So, I'm Tony Huang. I'm a junior at Carmel Catholic High School.
I'm Andrew Carnes. I'm a sophomore at Carmel Catholic High School.
I'm Nick. I'm a sophomore at Carmel Catholic High School.
And I'm Ryan. I'm also a sophomore at Carmel Catholic High School.
This is our mentor, Rob Lindeman. He's been a great help with us throughout the entire year. He has helped us with this presentation. He helped us go in depth with pricing, and he's just guided us throughout the entire way. So thank you, Mr. Lindeman. So what are some of the problems that our customer will have? So the main problem we address as Cord Shield is this. You can see the cord breaking near the tip from use, from a cut, from a pet maybe. We aim to stop this problem. Some problems we kind of indirectly solve is pets chewing on the cord. We help with that, and the tangled cord. From using our prototype, I haven't had my cord tangle once, and normally my cord tangles all the time.
All right, so our target market is 3 different groups. The first is parents. They have kids, they break cords all the time, and they rely heavily on electronics. Second is teenagers. They're using electronics all the time to communicate with friends and do schoolwork. They're also breaking their cords doing various activities. And lastly is businessmen/women. They're going on business trips all the time. They need their technology to do their work. We're mostly focusing on teenagers though, because we feel like we can connect with them better and build a better relationship. So we have 2 main competitors. Our first is Alex Tech. Now, theirs is on the cheaper side, but it's much easier to put on, and it's not as durable. This is Critter Cord. Theirs is really durable. It's made to help against pets, so it can stop blunt and sharp forces.
All right, so these are some of the competitive problems. The one on the left, the clear one, is Critter Cord. This one is more expensive, but it is a lot more stronger, and it's really hard to get on. The phone charger is really hard to get on the actual cord. It's just a little slit in the middle, and we all tried. It was really hard to get actually on the cord, and it was also really expensive, and it was just not flexible at all. And then the bottom right one is it is a cotton mesh one. It'll protect your cord, but it frays a lot more easily, and they wanted you to cut it to the exact size, and it would fray really easily, and they wanted you to use a lighter, and this would be like a fire hazard, but it was a lot more cheaper, which is nice. There you go.
So as you can see here, we have a video. Me and Ryan made this the other day. It was really easy to make our prototype, and this is us using a hairdryer, just any normal hairdryer to put on the heat shrink. We have our prototype right here. You can look at it. So what it is the actual layer going over the entire cord is PET tight weave, which mainly protects the cord. And then about 3 inches near the top is called Shrink Flex Heat Shrink. We buy both of these products from a company called wiredcare.com. They're based in New Jersey. Relatively cheap, but we have to buy them in bulk or we have to buy them with a lot of shipping. So on the far left, that's our first prototype that me and Ryan made. It was just heat shrink before the PET tight weave came. We made it to kind of see how the heat shrink would do. It took us a lot of time to get that on the cord and then a lot of time to shrink it on the cord. And one of the main things we wanted with our product is for it to be easy to put onto the cord and for it to be stylish as well as like effective. So we kind of aimed away from using a bunch of heat shrink because it just takes too long and isn't easy. The middle one I have on my phone cord right now. It's really nice, but when we originally ordered the PET tight weave, it was way too tight and really hard to get onto the cord. So again, an issue with how easy it was to apply. This final picture is what we're handing out to you right now, and it was the final prototype for now, but the only issue we've had with it so far, we've given it out to a teacher and many of our friends. The only issue they've had with it is near the end of the cord, the actual USB part. If you pull down on it hard enough, it will actually sort of slip just a little bit. And they said it was a little bit too thick, so we're aiming to solve those issues later.
All right, so for our UVP, which is unique value proposition, we got 3 main parts. First is customizability, secondly is durability, and last but not least is simplicity. For customizability, as you can see, the cord right now is all black, but you can choose the color that you want. So for example, it will come in like yellow black, green black, blue black, any color that you want. And also one more thing is that you can actually mix the 2 colors together. So you will have the cord whatever color you like. And for the next one is durability. So as you can see from our prototype, you can twist it, you can like try to bend it, or maybe a little scratch it. It's still gonna work fine. And it's actually gonna make your cord last longer and more durable. For the last one, which is simplicity, as you can see, refer back to the video, our product is really easy to apply it on. It's gonna take you around like 1 minute 30 to 2 minutes just to put it on, because we don't have to use any extra substances like glue or any extra resources like fire.
So what does it actually cost us to make that prototype and to ship it or sell it on Amazon, which is what we're aiming to do? So our first material, like I said, is PET tight weave. Since we order from wirecare.com in bulk, it is $195 for 500 feet of this material, which comes out to 39 cents per foot. Our second material is the ShrinkFlex 3-to-1 heat shrink. It is $130 for 200 feet of this material, which comes out to 65 cents per foot. In order to ship these, we were thinking of using 9x12 catalog envelopes. On Amazon, we can buy these for $22 for 100 of them, which comes out to 22 cents per foot. And in order to ship these, we need to spend $2.74 on the USPS first class shipping for packages less than a pound. And then one other thing we need is a postage stamp to put on the envelope, which is $1.39 per one of these. Here I have a spreadsheet. So for the PET tight weave, we need approximately 3 feet of it per product, just for an average iPhone cord. For the ShrinkFlex 3-to-1 heat shrink, we need 6 inches per product for the 3 inches on each side, which comes out to approximately 33 cents per product. We need 1 catalog envelope, which is 22 cents, 1 stamp, which is $1.39, the shipping fee, which is $2.74, and then at the end, the Amazon takes 15% of your total price for the seller fee. So adding up the $1.50 material cost, the $4.35 shipping cost, and the 15% Amazon fee, since we plan on selling this product for $13.99, which is a competitive price, since Critter Cord, like we said, is a little bit more expensive, but a lot of people buy it. It's $17, so we're cheaper than them, while still being easy to use and a great product. And then Alex Tech was approximately $10, so we're right in that range in between them. So the $13.99 minus our material cost, Amazon seller fee, and shipping cost is $6.04 of profit per product we sell.
All right, so this is our marketing plan. So we want to advertise on Instagram and YouTube. The reason why we want to Instagram on these 2 applications is because we feel that fits our target market the best. There was a LinkedIn study that surveyed around 1,500 people, asking teenagers what their favorite application to use on a daily basis was. Around 60% of them said Instagram, while another 93% said YouTube. Another reason why we want to use these is because they're really cheap, with YouTube being 10 to 30 cents per impression, and it varies depending on how long you want the video to be and if you want it to be skippable or not. And then Instagram is also free because you can just make a profile and post on it. So this is what we're doing right now to advertise ourselves. On the left there is our Instagram account, and on the right is our YouTube account. We haven't really posted much on there yet, and we want to gain a bigger following. We plan on the future on posting customer reviews and pictures of our product so people know what our product looks like. We want to sell ourselves on Amazon. The reason why we want to sell ourselves on here is because our mentor says that he's going to help us set up a seller's account because he already has one, and it's really easy, he said, so we really want to sell ourselves there. And really everyone shops on Amazon, which would also be a pro. Next slide. So in the future, when we gain more traction and we have a bigger following and hopefully more people are buying our product, we want to take our idea to Micro Center. If you don't know what Micro Center is, it is a tech store. I think there's one around 45 minutes away from here. They sell really anything tech, and we think that our products would be a really good idea here because there's a lot of tech stuff, and we really want our product to be in store so people know what it looks like, and people can just get a feel if they want it or not. The other side. And then if the Micro Center plan goes well, we can take our idea to Best Buy. Best Buy is a lot bigger than Micro Center. It's nationwide, probably worldwide, and we really want our product to reach more people.
All right, so it's time for our Tam and Sam. So our total addressable market is 12.58 million. That is the amount of people that currently live in Illinois, and our serviceable addressable market is 709,000. That is the amount of people here in Lake County. So I'm going to pass it on to Tony to tell you a bit more about how that applies to us.
Yep. So I think this is going to be like the most interesting slide that every of the investor would like is, how are we profitable? Like, how are we going to get money from us? Okay, so let's refer back a little bit to our SAM is 709,000. For example, we reach 1% of this people, which is around 7,100 people. We take this number, we multiply with our profit, which is around $6, and then we're going to make approximately 42,800 just for 1%, which is a lot. And so thank you guys for spending time here. And is there any questions?
Tony, can you talk a little bit about one of your big selling points was your customizable, and but in all of your numbers that you've presented, it's very much specific to what your prototype is, correct?
Yeah.
So how are you baking in your customizability?
Off of wirecare.com, they actually sell, I've looked into this because I've been on this website constantly since we've been making prototypes constantly for the past like 3 months. So they actually charge the same price for every color. It's just something they do. I don't know why, but.
They charge the same too for multicolors?
So like what we do, we order the Shrink Flex. It's like a separate product from the PET Tight Weave. So when you look up PET Tight Weave on wirecare.com, you can choose certain diameters to fit the cord. Right now we have 3/8 inch diameter, I think, so that it fits on the cord, it's easy to put in. But if you scroll through the 3/8 inch diameter for PET Tight Weave, there's a bunch of colors that come up. They're all approximately the same price. If anything, they're like 1 cent different, but they're all about the same price. Same with the Shrink Flex.
Have you thought about partnering with like sports teams to say like the Chicago Cubs colors, and people are crazy about sports, so have you thought about those types of fun little avenues to maybe?
We could kind of, on like some of our advertisements on like maybe Instagram, we could show like, okay, here's red and blue. If you're a fan of the Cubs, you can get something like this. Or
how big are those competitors? How big are those companies?
Alex Tech, so on Amazon, Alex Tech is the #1 seller. They sell about $10,000 a month, but I'm sure none of you have even ever heard of them because it's just something you wouldn't think of. But when we went to our friends, like with this idea, they said, that's a great idea. Like, I would love to have a cord protector. I've just never heard of it before. Like, what is this?
What's the #1 thing that, as you are looking at Alex Tech and the other competitor, what's the #1 thing? I'm assuming you've read through all their reviews, and I'm assuming that you know all of their pros and cons.
Yeah.
What's the #1 thing that they're just knocking out of the park?
So the #1 thing Critter Cord is knocking out of the park is that they're really durable. They have a really, really thick layer that they put on top of your cord, but I mean, everyone loves, like, it protects from pets because that's the reason most people buy it. It's called Critter Cord. But the only issue anyone ever has with that, it's really hard to apply. It's not flexible at all, but they love that it's really durable. And then for Alex Tech, most of the people say that it's really good for like bundling cords together, but that it's not necessarily like good at protecting them. They have a slit down the middle so you can easily like put the cord inside of it. And then many people that have like responded with negative comments have said, okay, our pets chewed through this. What now? This product sucks. Or literally, like reading Amazon reviews, like the 1 stars, it's all like, my pet chewed through this. This product is terrible. And that's their main, just the durability factor is not there.
So you guys are going to be durable.
Yeah.
You just won't be able to package multiple cords in yours, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay,
That's mainly what Alex Tech focuses on.
got it.
What's the typical cost of a replacement cord?
The typical cost for an Apple cord, it's probably somewhere around $30 to $40, which I don't know about some of the rich people out there, they might not care, but for teenagers like us, that's a steep price. We can't just afford to go replacing cords all the time, so it's really just a better option.
Are there generics that
like generic cords? I don't know. Probably about, I think on Amazon, if you look up like Apple iPhone cord or just iPhone cord, probably about $20. You can buy maybe a 10-foot cord, like a 8-foot cord, something like
Yeah,
that.
because isn't that, I mean, that, aside from the competitors that are selling protection, it's also, well, hey, I'll throw it out and I'll go
Just buy a new cord,
buy a new one.
Oh yeah, and there's one more thing I want to add to, is that just a story of my friend, which is also in the same class. She's a senior, and she has a problem with the cord. Like she decided to, instead of like changing her original cord, she bought like a fake one. And then one day she plugged it in and she goes to school. So she has to plug it out. And then the part that charging stick into it and she cannot take it out. So I don't think anyone wants to experience that. So you either like protect your original cord so that you don't have to spend, like, that's like smart investment.
I think also on your addressable market, why did you limit it to first Illinois and then Lake County? Because if you're shipping anywhere and you're selling on Amazon and other online retailers, you presumably it's very easy. The shipping cost isn't going to change. So why not look more broadly? Number one, number two, I think your numbers are still too broad because you took. I assume this 700,000 is total population.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of look maybe more at who owns devices, as a subset of that. And
the reason we chose to like focus in on Illinois is just because it's where we live, and like sometimes like social media can be like regional based. Like most of the time when I'm scrolling on TikTok, I'll see things from my region. I'll see things from like Illinois, the Midwest, and just for reasons like that. And then the reason we chose to do like Lake County, like the entirety of Lake County for our SAM, is because I mean a lot of people have this product. Like I can imagine my mom breaking a cord, I can imagine my brother breaking a cord, and I can imagine my grandpa breaking a cord. I think it's just a universal problem since so many people use cords nowadays.
Do you have research on this issue? Tony, you gave a great story at the beginning, but do you have research on how many people say get buzzed or their cords are not functioning anymore?
We have talked to a lot of people and sent out a Google form earlier in the year when like researching who has this issue. And from the people we've talked to, most of them said that, oh, I've broken this cord, but my parents bought me a new one. Or like, I've broken a bunch of iPhone cords a year, my pets chewed through it. And then our Google survey, about 80% of people said that they had the issue, and 20% of people said, I have no idea if I've ever had this issue or not. It doesn't matter for me. But like, they don't care.
Does the cord website you guys are using cut the cords for you?
So it depends. If they cut them based on like specific intervals, they sell them like 10 feet, 50 feet, 100 feet, 200 feet, 500 feet. We looked at like bulk prices. They get a little bit more expensive the lower and lower you buy, like per foot of cord.
How are you going to get it down to like iPhone size to sell?
What we do right now is, so when me and Ryan made the prototypes, we bought about 25 feet of the PT tight weave and 10 feet of the shrink flex and just cut them ourselves. We like measured it with the Apple iPhone cord when we put it on there.
How'd you do that at scale though with your cost of goods and all that?
We're not sure yet. We're trying to get there.
Also maybe consumer packaging. I'm not sure they're going to be taking it in a manila envelope.
Yeah.
In the mail.
We're figuring it out.
You guys mentioned your two competitors. Are there really only two, or are those just the bigger ones?
There are multiple,
huge
but
ones
those
so
are the
far. There are many more though. You can find them all over Amazon and on all the websites, but these are the two big giants against us.
Yeah, there's a lot of generic ones also.
I remember last time you guys talked about having, well, different colors, which we kind of mentioned again, but that was kind of like one of your selling points is when you have a lot of people in your family, you can then identify like your cord.
Yeah.
So are you still think that would be one of your differentiators?
I still think that's a good selling point for us, but I think it's more about many people have issues with their pets biting through the cord or the cords being too stiff. I think if we focus on more about the effectiveness first and then as like a secondary thing, be like, well, this is customizable and these people aren't, that's another selling point we can talk about.
Thanks. Yeah, of course. Thank you. Yeah, Mr. Franklin will come up. All right, thank you, Cord Shield. So last up, we have Power Play Cleaner. Going to bring them up, let them get set up. All right, we got Power Play Cleaner, last to go.
For a while, so we'll get you out of here tonight, but we're excited to talk about Power Play Cleaner this evening. My name is Logan Supancic. I am a junior here at Carmel Catholic. I'm a football player and I'm the CEO.
My name is Donovan Day. I'm a junior as well, and I'm also a football player, and I'm the CMO.
And my name is Charlie Luby. I'm a football player and a hockey player, and I'm the CFO.
This is Malachi Owens. He's currently a sophomore at Carmel Catholic High School, and if I'm being honest with you, he's a tremendous athlete. This year alone, he's racked up 5 Division I offers as a sophomore, and he's not single-handedly, but he's been a vital factor in this new age of Carmel Catholic football. 3 years ago, we were 3-6, and now we're 11-2. And I truly believe it's because of Kai. He's had a humongous factor in it. Now, a little origin about Kai. He's grown up in Crystal Lake his whole life, and he strictly played football. That's been his main sport, and that's been his everything. That's his whole life. Now, the reason I'm talking about Malachi is because he came to me one day, and he was like, Donnie, what do you do for the smell? And I was confused. I was like, what smell? And he said, that football smell. And it really got me thinking. My friends, my family, just everybody around me, they all have to deal with this smell. And I thought it was selfish. I really thought it was selfish. And to add on to that, it also adds bacteria, gets your skin all dirty. It gave me acne, really, really bad acne. And I'll be honest, for a while, I got really, really insecure about it. So I had to talk to my guys, Charlie and Logan, about it, and they all could relate to this problem. So we knew we had to fix this. We had to find a solution, not just for us, but for everyone around us. Now, when I asked Kai what his main concern was, verbatim, he said, girls don't like stinky. And that really pushed me and pushed all of us.
So making sure that girls aren't scared when they get into your car and they smell your pads isn't the only problem we want to tackle. We also want to save your teammates' noses, your own nose, and your parents' noses, because a lot of times parents are the ones doing the cleaning. Not only that, Donovan mentioned bacteria and the acne that comes with it. So myself, I'm a football player, but I'm an offensive lineman, right? I'm a bigger guy, meaning I sweat more. I work a lot harder for doing a lot less on the field. Donovan, he's a running back, star running back of our team. He's running a lot. He's a workhorse. He gets sweaty. Charlie might be the worst of us all. He plays hockey. That's year-round. He plays lacrosse, and I don't know if any of you have smelled hockey gear, but it's terrible. It's terrible. So the solution, Power Play Cleaner. And we have a demonstration for you coming up right over here. If you don't want to smell the stinky shoe, you don't have to, but
this is a stinky shoe. If you want to smell it, you could.
Those of you who want to.
You want to.
Oh, he wants to. Oh, yeah.
Donovan's basketball shoes.
Sorry, I got stinky feet.
You guys want to smell it? All right.
Well, why not?
All right. While we're doing that, I'll talk about our UVP, is that we want to be able to not only clean the gear, we want to disinfect it and leave it with a nice scent, making sure that it's disinfected so you don't have to worry about the acne and the scent, because the scent. Those of you who have been in this school and walked down the athletic hallway, specifically during football season, know that it is one of the most pungent smells ever. And if that's something we can tackle, we will not only save ourselves, our reputation in that hallway, but the entire school.
So this is the sprayed shoe right here. You guys pass it down and smell it.
It's very nice. Oh, thank you.
So our target market would be the athletes themselves, specifically in contact sports such as lacrosse, football, and hockey, but also the parents, because these are the people that will be probably most likely shelling out the money to, purchase this product, because they'll be like, hey, there's this, something that's gonna make our garage or wherever you keep your football pads not smell. It's gonna keep my car from not smelling. The parents might be more proactive to buy this product than the nose-blind athletes themselves. And so originally we sent out a survey to everyone we knew that played sports, across all sports, not just the contact sports. And we found that 65% of people had this problem across all sports. And 35% actually suggested a spray when we asked what would an ideal solution be.
This is Vapor Fresh. Their sole purpose and solution is just to get rid of the bacteria. They don't do anything for the smell. This is Febreze Sports. All they do is just get rid of the smell, but they don't clean it. Now here's how we're different. We combine the two. We both disinfect and we get a smell. We get rid of that stinky smell. Another thing that makes us different is we're really big on social media and making a brand. We want to, make our consumers feel like they know us. We make funny videos, we make ads, we make all sorts of stuff just so they can see these are the people. Like, we're just like everybody else. Now, this is our Instagram. We haven't posted in a while because we're trying to finish up our spray and our everything, but this is where we post a lot of Instagram reels, and we get a lot of traction, a lot of motion, a lot of just flow. A lot of, what's their name?
All right, for some numbers, there are about 332 million people in the United States. About 1.3 million play football, 830,000 play lacrosse, and 550,000 play hockey, which totals to about 2.7 million people that play either football, lacrosse, or hockey in the U.S. Now our serviceable addressable market, there are 22 high schools in Lake County, about 15,000 student athletes in Lake County alone. We estimated that we could reach about 10% of those student athletes in Lake County, and that totaled to 1,478 student athletes in Lake County that we think we could reach. Now, obviously, right now, this number is kind of low. This is more of a goal for us that we want to reach, and hopefully, as our product grows bigger, this number will also grow bigger.
To add on to what he's saying, a lot of the players, just a lot of guys at Carmel have a lot of connections for sports. So, for example, Kai, he has 5 Division I offers. He's been around a lot of athletes, and he will get our product out to them, different schools like St. Francis, Warren, Antioch, just all around Lake County.
The fact is that, we're a private school and we can pull from a 30-mile radius. So a lot of these kids played in Pee Wee programs with other kids that went to the public school and have real bonds with these kids and who still play. So if we get to Carmel kids saying, hey, try this, they like it, well, how did you get rid of the smell? This is how we did it.
I mean, I've played in Wisconsin.
And not only that, the parents too.
State.
Word goes by fans too, so.
Yeah.
All right, where we want to be first is Fred's Pro Shop. Fred's is a local hockey pro shop, and what's good about Fred's is there's not many hockey pro shops in the area, so a lot of the hockey kids, all the hockey kids pretty much that I know, actually go to Fred's. So if we could get our product on the shelf at Fred's, we can not only see how our product sells in a real store, we could also probably get some great feedback. And then where we want to be in the future is Dick's, because it is a sporting goods store, and we're in the line of sports. And then also Amazon, because almost everybody goes to Amazon to look for products. And then here are prototype attempts. Our first attempt, there are a few things wrong with it. We had the formula pretty good, but we added too much lavender scent. The size was way too small. It was a little travel size bottle. It ran out pretty much right away. And then also the cap did not coat the gear well at all. It would coat like spots in the gear, but not actually coat the whole thing, and it was ugly. And our next attempt was this bottle right here. We changed up the formula a little bit. We took a little bit of the lavender scent out because in the first attempt there was too much where it almost smelled bad. So we took a lot of the lavender scent out. We changed the spray bottle. We changed the cap. We really like this cap because it coats the gear well, and we also made the bottle a lot bigger. This is lasting me my whole lacrosse season. I've been testing it, using it, and it works pretty well. And then one more bad thing about this is it's ugly. You don't want to see this stuff, the solution, in the bottom of your spray bottle. I've walked around with this in the halls and got a lot of nasty compliments about it. And then our final prototype is this. A much nice, cleaner, sleek look with our sticker, our logo on it, and we hid the solution with this black bottle too. We also went with a bit of a smaller prototype just because there's a lot of solution in this, and it's not too cheap to make, so that's why we went with this. And so here's some testing that we did. This is after our first pitch. Before we sprayed the gear, we took some smelly gear. Before we sprayed it, 95% of the test takers said that the gear smelled. And then after we sprayed it, only 5% said it smelled. And then after wearing the sprayed gear for a 2-hour practice, 65% of the test takers said it still smelled good.
YNR, or Young and Reckless, is an AAU team based out of Chicago. Now, we personally know a few guys on the team. We thought, what better way to find out how well it's going to work on non-contact sports with shoes than to reach out to these guys that we know. So 12 out of 15 said they would buy this product again. We got comments like, it made my bag not smell by collateral, or that it was faster than washing it to get rid of the smell. After the season, we found that the spray bottle we used was not big enough, and that was actually the first attempt, the first prototype we showed you guys, gave them one of those, and really if you're only spraying it on the shoes, you're not doing too much. One guy said he ran out for the last two tournaments that they had over the weekends, and that what if the bottle was ever only so slightly bigger? So we asked them what did they think about the scent, and they thought lavender was kind of not to their taste, and we got comments like lemon or mint, and we chose to go with lemongrass for the new scent instead of lavender. So our ingredients list now comes out to water for a diluent, polysorbate 20 and lemongrass and eucalyptus for deodorizers, and phenoxyethanol and carbolol and tocopherols for preservative.
So for our Shopify account, it's about $15 a month, and for insurance, it's about $50 a month.
The materials we use are the chemicals I had mentioned and that bottle, which specifically I got off Temu for $3.
Yeah.
Okay, so our cost to make. This number is not updated right now. This is the number to make 1.5 bottles, but right now it's sitting at about $12.23 to make one bottle, and that's if we make them individually too. If we're making them in bulk, it's going to cost about $9.89. And then our sale price right now is $24. It is a little bit higher than what our competitors is. Our competitors range between $15 to $22, like Vapor Fresh and Febreze. But we think that with our product, since the quality is, I'd say, much better than our competitors, hopefully they are willing to spend a couple extra bucks to buy our product. questions.
Get ready for the recess.
I have a question. You guys have amazing energy and you have really great charisma and between the three of you.
Thank you.
How do you've talked about how you are approaching the people that you're trying to get on your side, if you will. Your branding falls a little short of the energy that you bring in person. What is your plan to make your branding match who you are and the energy you're bringing up here?
Generating just more videos, more content. I mean, that's what a lot of...
With that logo, though?
Oh, you mean with the logo?
Like the whole branding, all of it. Like, what are you doing? The purple and on a black bottle.
Yeah,
like, is that it?
You can figure something out.
I mean, I like the ties match, but...
I don't know, we just wanted to match with the bottle right now for you guys.
I know, it's good.
Thank you. But, I mean...
Are you thinking about your logo, though, and your branding? And
Yeah,
all that?
originally we went with purple because we all thought purple was a royal-looking color. Something that, you know, says, you know, I can do better, I can be better, the mentality of a lot of athletes. So we originally went with purple, and we went for a sleeker bottle design. But I do like the idea of bringing more energy to the design and the branding overall, so we will definitely take that into consideration.
Like when you look at Bark Armor, like that, they've done a lot. It's kind of cool. You guys, I mean, you guys have a lot of energy. If you apply that to your branding, you're going places.
I think I mentioned dude wipes to you guys last
You
time.
did.
You did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they don't care who they sell to. They're very specific. See, you know, you said in the opening slide, girls don't like stinky.
They don't like stinky.
That's a very specific line. You know, not everyone's gonna love that line, and that's totally okay. You're not selling to everyone. So yeah, you should think about some outside the box ways to, because it's a good product. The shoe didn't smell after we smelled it. Do the other products that your competitors have, do they have any like chemicals that are harmful? You mentioned acne issues like with the actual sweat and the gear, but is there any issues with the chemicals that your competitors use?
Yeah, so originally making the formula, I did research from all the competitors and I found what made their formula special to them, what worked for them, right? Found those chemicals, and there was a website that I can't name it off the top of my head, listed how harmful they were to use on skin-to-skin contact, and we decided that we were going to go with a similar formula to kind of combine the best of both worlds and take out anything harmful, take out anything that would cause irritation or something like that. I can't name any of the chemicals off the top of my head because that was pre-last pitch. But that's kind of the route we took to get there.
Can I buy this online right now?
Not right now, no.
Not yet. To add on to that too, I've used our competitors' products and I haven't had any like reactions or anything, but I have read the reviews and there are some people that did have a problem with it. Not many, but there's still something there.
I like the energy too. I think you guys should get super weird with your branding.
I do too.
I like that.
Just like
I
go
like getting
nuts. You don't need
Might
to
as
follow a
well.
certain formula. Go nuts.
Was it that easy to come up with a formula? You said, you know, obviously the scent lends itself to experimenting, but, you know, with the chemicals that you're trying to kill bacteria, you know, not irritate skin, was it that simple of just looking something up, or how did you come up with this specific right mix?
So the right mix was kind of guesstimating, but I will say that it was pretty easy to find out how harmful these chemicals are and which ones we wanted to have in our solution and which ones we didn't.
But how do you know then that it's, you know, I know you did a little empirical testing and, hey, it smelled better afterwards, and, you know, some people wore it for practice and it still smelled better, but did you do specific testing around, you know, your formulation, or it's kind of still trial and error?
It's still trial and error, yeah.
Because the one concern would be then, what's to stop somebody else from doing the same thing and coming up with a competing product, you know, that's just as good? And maybe, you know, it's time to think about, one, you know, documenting it, figuring out, is this, you know, what's the right one, and testing it more, and then patenting it, and coming up with a way to, you know, get yourself some protection so that someone else doesn't come in and do the same thing.
Right, absolutely.
Your price point at, I think it's 24, and coming out higher than the competition. So tell us a little bit about how you'd be selling that value proposition.
I mean, we're doing both. The other ones are just one thing. We're doing both disinfecting and making it smell better. So that's why it's more expensive, because it's both of the products combined.
So Febreze just it sort of masks the gear, and Vapor Fresh it kills the bacteria, but it doesn't leave it with a fresh smell. So we're just trying to combine it to both. And also our lemongrass is a really fresh, nice scent that many people enjoy. So that's why we think our price point could hopefully be a bit higher and still compete with these other competitors.
So this would be the only product on the market that does both?
From what we've seen and actually tested with our competitors.
Correct.
Yeah, because myself, I usually didn't used to do it this way. It was a very long, drawn-out process that my mom back there can tell you. It involved disinfecting it, leaving out in the sun to kill all the bacteria, and then just spraying it with Febreze. And that usually took the duration of an entire day and the weekend. And what if it wasn't sunny out? You know, UV couldn't kill any of the bacteria. So that was kind of where the idea stemmed from.
Also, another problem with hockey, it's not the summertime. Hockey is all year round, so you can't really just leave it out in the sunlight and let it dry and then coat it with Febreze.
Have you looked into manufacturing this at scale at all?
No, we're still trying to perfect the formula before we reach out to any manufacturers, sorry.
I'm wondering if your costs would go down quite a bit if you got up to scale. I'm thinking if you buy those chemicals by the barrel or something like that, you can juice your profit margin.
Absolutely.
You guys gonna keep doing it?
Of course.
Yeah.
I hope so, yeah.
I hope so. All right, so that's everyone. That's every group. I want to reiterate the fact Logan mentioned it. I mean, that athletic hallway is pretty bad during football season. So we're now going to have the judges go out. Yeah, judges are going to go out back, tally up some scores to give us an overall winner. But while we wait for that, I want to bring senior Nick Jung to the podium to give a testimonial about his incubator experiences.
Got one more testimonial for all of you guys, and that's the CEO of Bark Armor, Sean Sullivan.
If you would have told me in August of 2022 that I would be reading a speech I wrote at Pitch Night in 2024, I would have called you crazy. Not only was I terrible at public speaking, but I had zero networking skills. Thanks to this class, at this school, I've been able to grow immensely since then. In my opinion, this class teaches 4 great lessons. It teaches us how to present ourselves in a corporate environment. It teaches us how to become comfortable and confident in our public speaking. It teaches us how to network with the resources we have, and it teaches us how to deal with adversity in a group setting. While this might be out of the norm, I did not know how to tie a tie until my first business incubator pitch in February of 2023. In this class, we are taught what is acceptable to wear when it comes to presenting something and what's acceptable to wear when you're attending a presentation. Essentially, the difference between business casual and business professional. The most valuable lesson I personally have learned was how to become a comfortable and confident speaker. This was one of, if not my weakest qualities going into this class. The relationships I've built in this class have not only helped me succeed in this business, but also taught me to be more comfortable reaching out and connecting with the people around me. Whether that is the owner of the doggy daycare we send our dogs to, or the mentor we're given at the beginning of year 1. Going into this class, I had no idea what I was going to do with my life once I left Carmel. I thought I'd go to a big state school and figure out what I'd major once I got there. Thanks to this class, though, I know exactly what to look for during my college search, and I couldn't be more thankful. Next year, I'll be heading off to Omaha, Nebraska to attend Creighton University, and I've already started getting in contact with Creighton grads and current professors in the business school. I wouldn't have the confidence to do this if it weren't for the people in this class and those who allowed me to be in this position. I want to give a special thank you to Mom and Dad for their hard work and sacrifices that allowed me to be here tonight, and a huge thank you to Ms. Lindgren for teaching and mentoring me through my 2 years in this class. The Business Incubator program has truly changed the trajectory of my life. Thank you.
I don't have any jokes to tell. All right, so I think Miss Lindgren's going to grab them. I do want to say that I think the panel is in a pretty tough place to decide a winner. I thank all of you guys. I'm your classmate. I think you guys did a really good job today. You guys have shown a lot of growth throughout the entire year from start to finish, and I do think that today, as a whole, collectively, all of you had your best presentation of the year, so that's something to be proud of. You guys put in a lot of work and practice to be here, and it paid off. So, yeah, I don't have any jokes to tell. I'm not Nathan Rastaback. So, yeah. Anybody got a joke they could tell? I don't know any jokes. A joke? Oh, here, I'll tell a joke. Okay, yeah, I'll talk. Okay, yeah. All right. Yeah, this fall I'll be attending the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, in the Haslam College of Business as a double major in business management and finance. And I think because of this program, because of the Incubator program, I think I'm ahead of my peers in competition when I step foot on campus day 1. And that goes to what Sean said in his testimonial. What we learn in this class is so special. You don't really find that anywhere else. I know I had some notes to hit on that I didn't hit on after each presentation, but I'll just kind of briefly mention that now. Incubator is a super unique class that you don't get the experiences you do from any other class, right? It's because you're put in the position to you're doing instead of seeing. Most classes, right, teachers teaching you, but in Incubator, you're put in the spotlight. It's on you. It's what you make of it. And that's why it's so important, because you're learning how to network, email, whatever it may be. You're learning professional development and professional skills now, which can be implemented in the future. And I don't think you see that in most other classes, and that's why Incubator is so special. They are taking quite a while, I will say. All right, I think they've got their decision. Here they come. All right. Who's announcing the decision? All right. Sure, we got Mr. Jeff Fox to announce our winner.
Hello, everybody. As a group, we decided that Stride had the best presentation of the night with the socks. Reason being was, back in February, you guys had fabric swatches, and you've come with 3 different prototypes in a few-month time span. And as someone who does manufacturing, I can tell you that that's not an easy task. Doing all that different kind of research to find a way to make it waterproof, that's hard. And you had all the matching, the branding was on point. So our recommendation would be to maybe file an LLC over the summer so that you could take investor money and things like that to get prototypes out for football, hockey, lacrosse, all those different sports. So congrats.
All right. All right, so that wraps our night. Once again, congratulations to Stride, taking home the victory. Once again, thank you to all the parents for being here. If you guys want to take pictures in front of the big screen, we can put up your presentations. But other than that, that's all we've got. Thank you all for being here.